watched my video from a few days ago, you'll know why this, not the Starbucks, but the cup holder, bit of a disaster. But anyway, let's move on. Hello one and all, and welcome to Seen Through Glass. Welcome to another day in Wales with the incredible, the perfect new 911 GT3. I'm fully obsessed with this car. Honestly, I can't get out of it without wanting to take pictures of it. I can't be in it without smiling. It's just fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. I don't really know how today's going to play out though, because my original plan was to head to what I think could be the UK's greatest driving road in the Brecon Beacons, the south of Wales. However, as you can probably tell, the weather's still crap. I mean, really crap. I'm getting a little bit tired of it now, I've got to be honest. And so I think filming and driving on this road isn't going to be that easy. I'm still going to go though, because why not? I got a GT3 and I'm here, so I might as well give it a try. And then after that, I want to head to a sort of local motorbike slash coffee shop that I've been following for a while on Instagram that I've always wanted to visit. Then unfortunately, we're going to be headed back to London, because my time with the GT3 isn't quite over yet, but my time in Wales with it is, which is very sad, because it's been epic, because this car's epic. Oh, I need one. I promised myself I wouldn't do this, but if there are any Porsche dealers out there, you happen to have a build slot for a new GT3, give me a call, please! So, welcome to the Black Mountain Pass, or the A4069, which is, well, I think the closest we get in the UK to an Alps mountain pass. It stretches between two relatively small Welsh villages, which I'm not going to be able to pronounce, up over the Brecon Beacons. The sort of full pass, or the A4069, it's about 20 odd miles. It can take you about 45 minutes to do the whole thing. But I want to focus on one section, this section, which is the kind of the incline up towards Herbert's Quarry. It's a section of road that really got made sort of famous by Jeremy Clarkson, because he reviewed the Mercedes CLK 63 Black Series here. I don't know if you remember the episode, but he woke up early in London, decided to go for a drive, and found himself here. Now the thing is, since then, tons of people have been sort of coming to this road to drive. Journalists, magazines, TV shows still use it to kind of demonstrate what a car is capable of. I think that has meant, and correct me if I'm wrong here, they've implemented a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit. I'm fairly sure last time I was here, which was during the Hot Hatch tour with Paul from Supercars of London and Mr. JWW, there wasn't a speed limit. I mean, it's awkward if I'm wrong. Maybe there was a speed limit, but yeah, what was an epic driving road, and hey, still is sort of an epic driving road, well, it's kind of been neutered. It's now all about the scenery, which isn't a bad thing, because the scenery is fairly spectacular. Lots of sheep to look at, and people like looking at sheep in Wales, it's a thing. But it's no longer somewhere to really, you know, enjoy your car, which maybe is a good thing. It's a dangerous road. There's a big drop to my left right now. Once we go up and over Herbert's Quarry, the drop gets even steeper. So I kind of get it, but given that prior to coming here, I always thought of this road as kind of the greatest UK driving road, it's no longer really that. I mean, there have been plenty of amazing roads in Wales this week that I've experienced with this car, so I'm not too gutted. It's kind of taken away the point of my video, but fundamentally, I don't know, come check it out. If you're in a normal car, it's just a really nice, cool road. If you're scared of heights, it's not fantastic, but yeah. I guess let's crack on, find somewhere that we can go a little bit faster. So this is why I'm always a big fan of going to the popular good driving road and then turning off it. This is the A4067. We were previously on the A4069. We're essentially a sort of a valley over to the east, and whilst the rain is quite a bit worse and the traffic is quite a bit busier, there's a national speed limit, which means we can extract a little bit more performance performance from this car. Not that I really, I'm sure I want to with this heavy downpour. Today is not my day. It's not supposed to be. The world has said, enough, Sam. Enough fun in the GT3. Time to go home. Maybe they know if I drive it anymore, I'm just literally going to bankrupt myself trying to buy one. I had a quick look on Auto Trader to see whether people were flipping their GT3s and how much they might be going for. I mean, well over £200,000, and that's a joke because I've spec'd this car up in every kind of variation and 140, 150 grand. So £50,000 plus over list for a GT3. Yeah, no, not going to happen. But if I keep driving it, I might just convince myself somehow it needs to. But yeah, anyway, as I say, I mean, the conditions are appalling, but I think I might now recommend the A4067, the sort of, the little Black Mountain Pass, instead of the famous one nowadays, because it's wider, gets slightly better visibility, you can carry a little bit more speed. Okay, it's not quite as dramatic, at least up until this point, you haven't got the sort of hairpin turns, but you can enjoy yourself more in a car, even when the weather, oh my god, is this bad? It's atrocious. The only thing which I say which is quite cool is obviously the standard GT3, the non-touring specification car, is all about the aero. And when it's this wet, as it has been quite a few times on this trip, you can kind of see the aero working through the spray that comes off that massive wing. So if I look at my rear view mirror, which by the way, that is dominated by that wing. When I look in the rearview mirror, all I see is the wing, but when it's wet like this, you can see the spray kind of billowing off it, kind of following, I guess, the direction or the lines of the wind, the air moving over the car. There's always that great bit in F1 where someone said Adrian Newey can see air. Me and my sister was like, that's so cool. And I feel like Adrian Newey right now, looking through my rearview mirror and going, so that's why this thing sticks to the road so well. Here we go, look, the rain is easing off. And we can enjoy ourselves in this car. It just sounds so good. It sounds so good throughout that rev range. I mentioned it in a previous video, you know, you don't always have to get to that 9,000 RPM figure, which in the GT4, for example, you kind of did. Okay, fine, it's not 9,000, but you really need to get to the red line to unleash the car's kind of real potential or character. Whilst in the GT3, just feels alive at every sort of element. I've got the sportier suspension setting on at the moment, which does stiffen things up, but still, it's really not unpleasant on a road like this, which isn't billiard smooth. It's one of the smoother I've been on this week. It's just so dialed in. It takes a little bit of time, I think, to get used to how direct the front end of this car is. At the beginning of the week, I was like, oh, especially on a bumpy road, it seems to follow the kind of bumps and rivets and things like that. Rivets? Do roads have rivets? I don't know, you get what I mean. Tram lines. But yeah, now I've got used to it. You just ease into it, you relax, and then suddenly you just feel everything through the steering wheel, you read the road a lot better. It's bloody marvellous. Well, there we go, not quite what I expected, and I'm not going to say that this is the UK's greatest driving road, but I do think it's better than the Black Mountain Pass, so there's that. Anyway, I think now it's time to kind of give up on the speedy driving and head for coffee.
So this is Baffle House. I've been planning to visit here for ages and just never really had the chance. We're about 20-25 minutes north of Newport, so just into sort of Wales really. They apparently do incredible coffee, so I can't wait to try that. There's also paninis, but as you would have seen, there's also some awesome sort of cafe racer bikes. Also a community car culture here as well, so don't be scared if you're on four wheels too, you're still welcome. But yeah, it's probably the closest thing we've got to like a Deus Ex Machina or Ex Machina, however you want to pronounce it, here in the UK. We don't have one of their setups here, so it's got that same kind of vibe. It's kind of small and discreet, you can easily drive past it without noticing, but it is well worth the stop off. And oh yeah, okay, the coffee's really good. Really good.
Well, I think that brings an end to my time in Wales with this car. A bit of an unceremonious ending, but I kind of am forcing myself to make this video and to release it because all too often these days my own expectations of what I should create are too high, and I sack off videos. I go, oh, there's not much point in putting that out. And I'm like, no, come on, I got to put it out. And also, how many times am I going to spend this much time or make content with a 992 GT3 unless someone offers me a build slot? Hello. So yeah, anyway, I'm still glad I've been out exploring today. Baffle House, awesome. As was the A4067. So yeah, it's now time to start the long slog back to Porsche Reading via London to hand this car back, and what a sad, sad moment that is going to be. I'm sure many of you just expected this car to be brilliant and for me to love it, so no real surprise, I would say, in the content or the experience that I've had, but it's kind of reaffirmed the fact that this car is ace. And I was a bit nervous after watching some of the other reviews that maybe it got a little bit too extreme, a little bit too much like a 3RS rather than just the standard 3. But it doesn't seem to be that way. It just seems to be brilliant. And God knows what else is coming from Porsche. This 992 platform, we keep seeing spy shots of potentially a Safari, a raised suspension car, maybe a ducktail turbo, so a kind of sport classic style. But I think for me, this is definitely going to be the one that I continue to lust after. So I hope you've enjoyed the videos over this week. Please give it a thumbs up if you have, and make sure you stay subscribed, because whilst there might not be any other 992 GT3 content in the short term, fingers crossed, the more of you that like this video and subscribe to this channel, who knows, that might help ensure that there is more 992 GT3 content in the future. I will catch up with you soon. Bye bye.